Okay, we are recording again. And if you need a prompt to add your 2 cents, please let us know what area in your responsibility is causing people to lose their passion and enthusiasm. Otherwise, please just feel free to share your biggest takeaway. Anybody else have like the visual thing of like the rock that gets thrown in the lake? Momentum just ripples out. Momentum is just ripples. But to the person on the shore, it just looks like a wave, right? But really somebody had to pick up that rock and move it. You guys, yeah, you can unmute yourself. Matt, you unmuted.
I unmuted me too, so.
Good work.
I want to start first of all by saying thanks to Beverly and Courtney for hopping on tonight. And that momentum thing, you know, we talked about how positive or negative momentum, and I'm sorry we missed the first couple minutes of the chat. This summer, with all the craziness of everything that was going on in my personal life, I did not put into my leaders as much as I could have because I was in survival mode, right? And so that I was the rock, and that rock that's coming in can either be a tidal wave and your people can ride with you, or that wave can come into shore and it can wipe them out, right? So we see people that were riding that wave. They had their life vests ready. We prepared them for some of those things. We had a backup measure to help protect them. But for those who weren't prepared for that, that wave kind of swallowed them up a little bit. So I just think it's really important to make sure that you've got some of your safety vests and your life jackets and a lifeguard intact a little bit that you can call on for help when you need it. So that momentum will continue. They can continue to ride that wave versus getting swallowed up with that. So that's my 2 cents worth.
That's such a good point, Jackie. And oh my gosh, Matt, Beverly, Courtney, you guys just did amazing, first of all. But so much of this chapter took me back to, this is why we aren't handed a diamond team right away. Can you imagine? Like, I wouldn't even know the first thing to do with a diamond level team right now. And I just went through, so May through September, part of October was just pure momentum. Never experienced anything like that in my 2 years with Plexus. And so, yeah, October came and I was wiped out. Like, I felt like I just got hit by a semi truck and was just laying flat in the road. Like that, I don't know how to describe it any better than that. But it's like you're riding this wave and you just come slamming into the shore. And you know, I could sit back and think, oh my gosh, like I'm sliding backwards right now. I'm losing my team. I could think all the negative things about that, but instead, perspective shift. I am preparing for that next wave and thinking, okay, what went right? What didn't go right? How can we pivot so we can get through this next wave and not feel like this brick house just came crumbling down on us? And like we are just carrying all the weight, right? So learning to prepare your people, learning to prepare yourself as a leader, and going back to one of his basic teachings of everything rises and falls on leadership. And understanding that, you know, it's not, oh, well, my team is failing. It's how can I do better and prepare them better so we can make it all come out on the other side refreshed and energized and not feeling like we just lost complete control, you know? So love this chapter, love this book.
I just have to share, I've had a super crazy week and did not get to read the chapter, didn't even see what the topic was tonight, but I knew at 9 o'clock hop on. And I'm wearing, wait, I can't get up. I'm wearing my Momentum shirt. I was like, whoa, the universe is speaking to me right now.
I love it, Christy. I love your shirt. We all need one of those. We're momentum makers over here.
That's right.
Aw, well, I wanted to talk really fast because the baby's out there crying and Cameron has already given me the look like, are you going to come take this baby? So something that stood out to me, obviously there was a lot of things that stood out to me, but I'm gonna just point out a couple things. And I hope you didn't say it already. I didn't catch the first like 5 minutes or something, but I don't even know what page it's on. I didn't write that down, but it says, you cannot kindle a fire in any other heart until it is burning within your own. Did anybody say that? Like, that was so good. And that starts with belief. And it comes back to John
Mhm.
Maxwell saying, leaders add value when they have value. You cannot give away what you don't have. So if you don't have a burning fire in your heart, if you don't feel it in your soul, then your team is not going to feel it
Yeah.
in their soul. Remember how they say that, we talked about this last week or whatever week it was. This is why we have to do 200% so that our team will do 100%, because if whatever we're doing, our team's going to do half of what we're doing. So if we don't have this burning fire in our heart, we cannot kindle a fire in any other heart until it is burning within our own, within our own heart. So we have to get that fire
Mhm.
going, those embers. What fires you up? What feeds your soul? For me, it's team building. It's this right here. It's this community. It's going to events and hugging people and seeing people and being at Ruby Retreat and being at Leaders Retreat. And this is the best we can do right now with COVID. Okay. So like, I just want to like do air hugs to everybody. Okay. Like, I love this part of it. Like, I love the team building and all of that. And so what feeds your fire? I mean, what does that for you? And whatever that is, do that, do more of that. Okay. Share that with us, because we're not all going to be experts in all of the things. Remember what he said here in this book alone for 21 law. We are not going to be
That's right.
experts on all 21 things. Okay, and so we have to grow. And another thing that stood out is that leaders always find a way to make things happen. It's really cool, you guys, because I just did this team call on Monday night talking about growth mindset and how that can lead to a legacy business. And Jackie talked about some things that she had going on over the summer, and we had quite a big scare over the summer with our little guy that drowned in the pool, and we were all there. But bad things can still happen even when you're right there, and scary things can still happen. And there were things that just shook us to our core with all of that. But I had to work through a lot of mindset things myself. We are all going to have to grow, right? We get knocked down, we get back up. We're like a baby that's learning how to walk, falls down, gets back up, falls down, gets back up, trying to ride your bike, fall over, get back up. This is what we do. And then this is how we learn, this is how we grow. We grow from our failures, and we just keep going, right? And so this Jewel call that we were just on, holy cannoli. They talked about so many of the things that I talked about on this call on Monday night. And I'm like, hallelujah, I am on the right track. Anybody can be a Jewel, okay? But like, seriously, you guys, like, this business is 80% mindset. This is why so many people quit, because they don't want to be out of their comfort zone. They don't like it. It's like, I cannot do that. And off they go. You only are going to fail if you quit. So we don't quit. There's the peaks and the valleys, like Matt said. We just don't want it to be like this,
That's right.
like just little, short, and just, it's like Plexus. It's like our products, right? Like, it's called like being emotionally balanced. Like, don't ride the emotional roller coaster. We're going to be balanced. Our blood sugar is not going to go up and down crazy like this. We're taking our
That's
Plexus
right.
Slim and we're balanced, right? Like, we just need to be balanced in our business and in our spiritual life and in our family life, and all the things just be balanced. God's working on us. He's refining us. We need to go through the fire and learn what it is that he wants us to learn. Not be like, oh my gosh, this is uncomfortable. Let me just get the heck through this fire as quickly as possible. Or let me go around the fire, or let me go backwards because I'm not trying to hear that fire right now. Like, we need to be in the fire and him refining us, learning what it is that we need to learn. Because if we don't learn it, friends, let me tell you what's going to happen. You are going to go around the mountain again until you learn it. He has a purpose and a plan for you to learn. And if we don't learn what we're supposed to learn, he's going to get us in another way, right? Like, he is here to teach us. With my kids, we teach them all kinds of things, but we're teaching them Bible time, and we're really trying to teach them to sit still right now and to pay attention and focus. Lord help us if we can get these children raised without pulling our hair out. But anyways, it's like, you are going to learn these things. And so we've been learning about God teaching the Israelites, and they weren't listening. And then what did he have to do? He had to do things to make them learn. And so that, the Bible lesson talked about, if you don't listen to your parents, what has to happen? Then your parents have to do something to make you learn.
Mhm.
Either you have to go to bed early, or you have to sit in timeout, or whatever you have to do, right? So he is wanting us to learn. I want my children to learn. It is important. I literally have my megaphone out and the Bible, and I'm like, okay, people. And it's not, I have that because my voice is gone and I can't talk over all these
She
kids.
really does.
My voice is ridiculous here. You guys just pray for my voice. I don't even know. But seriously, and so like when I'm teaching things, like I want people to, I don't want to just check a box. Okay, perfect. I made a video. Awesome. Okay, perfect. I led team college. Done. Like, I want to teach people things that's going to help them and that they're going to learn from. And I want my children to learn from what I'm teaching. I am not here to just sit here and jibber jabber, and I'm like Snoopy or whatever that teacher is. It's wah, 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 you know what I mean? So anyways, I don't know what you guys are all saying over there, but
I'm watching over here, trying not to laugh out loud.
but anyways, that was
You
what I
said
had
something really good
to
there. Can I
say.
piggyback off something you said
Yeah.
there? Because it comes back to, like Rochelle said, I got 20 pages of momentum stuff here. But hey, so everybody likes the secret formula, right? Everybody wants, all you greens out there are like, what? There's a formula to this whole momentum thing? Yeah, there is. And so, something that Rochelle was just talking about with mindset. So mindset is directly tied to your attitude as a leader, right? So, one of the things that Mark, Cole, and John talk about a lot are, this formula for personal momentum. And, it's really comes down to this: the leader's attitude. You might want to write that down. Leader's attitude plus your atmosphere for your organization, your team culture. What kind of team have you created? What have you put into place already? So the leader's attitude plus the atmosphere of your organization plus the accomplishments of your team equal momentum. If you want to stay in momentum, you continue to focus. Now, when you're out of momentum, one of those variables is out of whack. So this is cool, right? So if you're a green, you love troubleshooting problems and trying to figure out what's going on. I'm a red green, so I get to have both sides of that one. I like to look at which one of these variables is out of whack. So when I meet with a client or a coaching client, they always ask me, they're like, hey, how do I get momentum? I was in momentum. We enjoyed a little bit of time there, and then we fell out of momentum. I don't know what happened. Well, we evaluate where they're at with each one of those three variables. Well, what's your attitude like right now? Most of the time I don't have to ask that question. I'm usually pretty good about picking that one apart pretty quick. And, ironically, guess where the biggest variable is more times than not for why they can't get back into momentum or get into momentum in the first place? We are our own worst enemy, either by mindset, by failing to understand our own why. If you don't know your own why, you're never going to be able to lead somebody else to theirs. I mean, not in this business, not in any business. So the leader's attitude is usually the biggest one. You focus hard on that team culture, pour into your team culture, pour into your team culture, pour into your team culture. So leader attitude, somebody's asking questions, so I'll restate it. Leader attitude plus the atmosphere of the organization plus the accomplishments of your team equal momentum. You got to have some wins, right? It's hard to be a momentum if you don't have any wins. I mean, it's think about it. Think about a team that has a 0-12 record. There's that team. Usually, if you go and you visit with that team, they're not in a really good place because there's nothing for them. There's no accomplishment for the team. The leader has to help set the stage for accomplishments to take place. Celebrate the wins. Celebrate the little wins. So little wins become big wins. But that's how you get that momentum piece going, right? And I did write that down, that the leader's attitude determines the team's altitude. If you don't have the right mindset and you as a leader don't have the right attitude about momentum and the right attitude about what it takes to stay in momentum, get in and stay in momentum, then you become the rate limiting step for the altitude of the team.
The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. Yeah.
Yep.
And he said that in this book, right? He talked about the sports team and like they're in momentum, and they're winning the game, right? It's not that they don't have hurt body parts or whatever, but they're not paying attention to that. They are in momentum of winning this game. And so what is the other team doing? The other coach is calling a timeout
That's
because
right.
he knows that this team is going to win if he doesn't call a timeout and the game has to stop for a moment, right? So when we're in momentum with Plexus, we're not over here thinking about, well, sheesh, this COVID is making the shipping take longer than normal, or the back office is just really running slow. Like, we're not looking at any of that stuff. We're just over here like, holy cow, we've had 400 joins this month. What in the world is happening here? How do we help retain all these people? You know, like,
Yep.
we're not thinking about all these problems, right? But when we're not in momentum and our mindset's not right, then we're looking at every little thing. And it's like Matt was saying, like, you're on this track and that little tiny itty bitty block stops you, boom. But when you're in momentum, you're like flying through there.
Yep.
and going right through the brick wall or whatever he said, the real steel reinforced wall or whatever he said. So like
She pays attention.
Yes, I do pay attention. Plexus Church. I feel like this every Thursday night, you guys. Oh my word.
All right, now we have to be quiet and let somebody else talk.
Can I talk? I was sitting here when I was reading it, and I think I myself have been in momentum, like me. I can recruit. But what happens is it feels like nobody else is getting in momentum. So I think what sticks out to me in this chapter is just how I can start creating it more for people. Because I think I've had maybe, it's terrible, I can't remember, maybe 5 people actually actively try to share and then not stop after turning silver. I can't remember how many silvers I've had. It hasn't been what I would like it to be. So it's not for lack of trying. It's just me now trying to figure out how I can motivate them better. And so the one thing that stuck out is creating momentum requires someone who has vision, can assemble a good team and motivate others. So I start thinking about, you know, me as a person. And then I know I don't always feel enthusiastic. And there are days where I feel really, quite frankly, burnt out on doing it. And so I still do the things, but it also said starts with vision, passion, and enthusiasm. And so I try to really make sure that my posts convey that, because I know I feel super passionate about it. It's not just Plexus posts, just like when my personal posts too. So I feel like I want to learn more about what motivates my team. I think when it comes down to, and I think Matt just said something, that I actually don't feel like I have a team, like, because I talk to them individually. I have a lot of difficulty. Elizabeth can account for me on this one. I don't have very many people who actively engage in conversation with me. I don't know why. But so if it doesn't feel like a team to me, that's why I feel like there's a disconnect. And so I feel like I need to probably get more people on the phone, have a team call as opposed to just individual calls, because I've never done that. And Elizabeth's probably, where is Elizabeth? She's still on here. She's probably beating her head against the wall. We've talked about it for a long time. That and doing more videos and being more seen. And I'm really outgoing, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone to do that kind of stuff. So I just really do try to think that I need to get to know my people even just more and more. Jackie, that dang phone thing. Now, once you get me on the phone, I can talk and talk and talk and talk. I actually prefer the phone. I was on the phone the other day with a friend who actually is somebody who has taken the product. She doesn't want to actively share. Works for Mary Kay. Anyway, loves the product. So she told one of her friends about it. And we did a 3-way call, which was wonderful because it feels really authentic for me to actually be on the phone with people. I get tired of texting. So it's just a matter of getting people on the phone. But what else? I wrote about a bunch of stuff. Now my thoughts are all scattered. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's see. Or more about, yeah, messaging, fill in that. Yeah. Oh yes, and my goal really is to attract more like-minded people. I want people on my team that really share this passion with me about life too, not just about Plexus. I like meeting people who really appreciate and are grateful for life and for what they have. So I try to really convey that. So that's that. Now my neck's all red from talking.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to say that you've already said that Elizabeth has been talking to you about, and Elizabeth's beating her head against the wall, is if you have if you have local people, you guys, so this is not just for Rebecca, but all of you, if you guys live with people there, get together with them. It does not have to be, all right, people, we're getting together for Plexus training. You can get together just for dinner, for fellowship, for fun. Bring them a fun little gift. If you get together in the month of March, bring them a green something. I don't know. I did that one time. I brought them back when we had P96, I brought a vanilla P96 and I gave them a green, I'm in the middle of talking off the door. She's a
Somebody's
flip.
hungry.
I gave him a vanilla P96 and a green, one of the healthy, like instead of the McDonald's green, whatever those things are that are not good for you, the milkshake things, like there was a recipe for the P96 thing. And so I put it on green paper, stuck it in there, put it in a little bag, like whatever. Like it wasn't anything big. It was just something small. Here you go. I love you. So glad you're on my team, whatever. Right? So get together with your people locally and absolutely be more visible. Okay, so yes, we're on book clubs together, right? So we all see you, but if your people aren't on book club with you, then they're not seeing you, right? So make more videos, do things in the team page, go live, whatever. And that is why Nicole has that gold and above schedule posted, right, in the Goldies chat. It's Nicole's anniversary, so she's not on tonight, but definitely do those kind of things. And remember too, like just be encouraged, you guys. We are looking for the 1%. Okay, like so many people do not have an entrepreneurial mind. They are fine with the status quo. They want to go to work, have their boss tell them what to do, come home, live for the weekend. That's what they want to do. They're not here to think about working for their dreams. Okay, we just learned about this on our Jewel call tonight too. And I was just talking to Matt about this last night with our son. People are not here to work for their dreams. They just want to have people tell them what to do. And so you are out here looking for the 1%. So when you're posting, don't just post about the products, post about this business, post about the community, post about your friendships, post about, oh my gosh, look at what Elizabeth just sent me in the mail or whatever, you know, like that is what people are craving, especially now, you guys. Holy crap, people are making videos. I saw this video in the Jewel page. Did you guys see it, Lauren and Elizabeth and Jackie, where the lady is like on her treadmill? She's got her like luggage and she's like on the treadmill pretending that she's like going down the thing in the airport. Then she like goes down the stairs. Like people are craving attention. They're craving getting out more and seeing people. We're all wearing masks. Nobody can see anybody smiling anymore. It's like people are depressed. There's all kind of mental issues. It's not good. So like when we are on these calls and when we're, you know, doing our posts, we need to be sure. This is why so many people want to join. This is why we had so many people joining us this summer too. And believe me, that second wave is coming, you guys, because what you think is coming here? Winter. Oh my gosh, second wave of the coronavirus. Everybody's sick with the flu or whatever they got going on over there. So now here we are, stuck in the house again, and we're going to have another big fat wave of momentum again. So it's going to happen, you know, but definitely share about that. And remember that you are looking for the 1%.
Yep.
1%.
So Rebecca hit the nail on the head there, though. I do got to say that, Rebecca. I think that's huge. That number one, if I was coaching you, I would tell you that's awesome that you had that revelation yourself and somebody didn't have to tell you, even though you said Elizabeth's been beating up on you. I know Elizabeth can be rough. Trust me. Okay. So, you know, is she still on? Let me make sure. No, but
she's on.
The
She's
fact
giving
that
you a look.
Good. The fact that you realize that's huge. So we have to connect with our team. And, you know, I think what happens is, you know, and we see this a lot with very powerful recruiters. I've coached people in this industry that are phenomenal recruiters, but it's what happens after the recruiting. That's where the magic really happens. Now, so I think it's important that, your team, they need to see your passion, right? Because in the beginning, it's called, they're borrowing your vision. They're borrowing your passion for what you already know, because they haven't experienced it themselves yet. And if you're not meeting with them, right, if you think about how we communicate, if all they ever see from us is a text message or an email or a Facebook Messenger, we're missing a huge chunk of that communication chain. And we are, by virtue of being human beings, we thrive on that connection with each other. And so I would say, if people want to use the COVID thing as an excuse, the reality is we have technology. We're on a call right now. I can see everybody's faces. Actually, when I teach using Zoom, I require video to be on. Anybody who doesn't know that about me, well, now you do. Like, I hate seeing videos off. This Rochelle Osborne thing down here with no video on is killing me down here. I don't know who this person is, but she needs to turn her video on. But you have to
I
have
have to be able to type on my phone, okay?
we want to have that connection. That's natural. So, if you want your team, maybe part of what you're feeling that is that there is that missing connection with your team. So you're doing a great job recruiting them, and then set up team calls. I coached a team, not even on Rochelle's team, not, somebody who's complete sideline, and her team was, stagnating and falling apart at best. And, I got to talking to him, and it's like, I was like, so how often do you have a team call where you meet with your team and you recast vision and you energize them around the trends you're seeing within the team or within the industry, and you share some amazing knowledge, or you invite a guest speaker into, to pour into them. And then she's like, what? Meet with my whole team? And I'm like, whoa, there's the problem right there. Your team's disconnected. You think about you. So Rebecca, you are literally the energizing force, the polarizing force for your team. And if you're not meeting with your team and letting them tap into that energy on a regular basis, then they will fall away. It's what we do as human beings. We will find somebody else that does that for us, that energizes for us, and we will gravitate towards that new polar. And so be the polar for your team. Set up that even if it's just every month, give them something to look forward to, that time when you pour into them, and they will grow. I promise you, they will grow. And they will start to take your vision and adopt it as their own. And then they will energize around that. And then you won't see that attrition and that fall off. They're going to stay the course.
Well, I think too, sorry, I have to butt in here for 1 second. I can't not talk. If you have to go, don't feel bad if you have to hop up. I just wanted to tell you that too, which goes into my next point. So
I do have to go. I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second.
Please do.
I have to leave for work in 10 minutes. I just wanted to say, Rebecca, I am on the same page as you. I feel like I have a ton of people that love the products, and for whatever reason, they have 5 million and one excuses to not make a post on Facebook. I don't understand. They're like, oh, well, my connections aren't on Facebook. Okay, great. So like I told somebody today, if your connections aren't on Facebook, that's fine. Talk to them. If they have questions, call me. We'll set up a date, make an appointment. We'll do a 3-way call. That's totally fine. There's many different ways to do this. And I just feel like I can't get the fire lit under anybody else. I can recruit and recruit and recruit, but it's like everybody just stops there. I love the products. I'm losing weight. I feel amazing. Well, tell the world about it. That's what everybody needs to do, is tell the world. So
You guys can't give up though. You have to keep
I'm
going.
not giving up.
Because Jackie, it took her a year to get me to share. And she kept tagging me and stuff. And she kept inviting me and asking me in different ways, like, hey, can you post this for me? Because I'm running for gold and this would really help me. Or, hey, you want to get your products paid for? Like, she tried all different ways. It took a year. Do you know what I could do with that year back now? Oh my gosh. So just make sure, don't give up on those people that are loving their products. Keep supporting them, because sooner or later you're going to say it just the right way, and they are going to be lifetime sharers just like you. So just and I'm sorry I interrupted, but I want to make sure that I am encouraging you, because that was me. I told her no so politely so many times, and here
And
I
just
am.
didn't accept it.
No,
I'm not accepting no. I'm
and
not
I'm
gonna
so
accept
grateful
no.
she didn't, and they will be so grateful to you.
Yeah, I keep reaching out and I'm like, hey, you know, there's this new product. Why don't you tell people what you think? Or like one girl, she's like, I mean, she is recovering from a major surgery, so I'm not gonna be too hard
Well,
on her
she's
right
got
now.
downtime.
But I'm like, hey, you have your phone, you're on it. I see you posting. Will you please just post this about these new products that we have? Like share something. And she's like, yeah, I'll get on team calls as soon as I'm feeling a little better. And I just keep reaching out and I'm just not going to stop because they
Well,
love
you
their
can
product.
tell her that Jackie got me to do a business launch party while I was actively having a baby in the hospital. So
For
major
real.
surgery is not an excuse. And I started sharing when I had, like, that was the whole point, was I knew I would have time because I would be sitting around nursing a baby for a few weeks, acclimating. So major surgery is not an excuse. You're going to
That's
be
what-
sitting there recovering anyway.
That's legit, Bev.
Well, she can't even sit. She can't even sit. She's really miserable. She
I
had
do want
plastic
to
surgery.
tell you, Jolie, and then this
Yes.
may speak to other people too. So, months ago when I did my first momentum movement with Brooke and Emily, they said they actually gave the tidbits that you can type a message up for someone and say, hey, you know, and Bev and Jackie, Jackie, you did this to Bev, it sounds like. You type a post up and you say, hey, I am really trying to reach a really big goal, you know, and I know that you don't want to share for yourself, like that is completely okay. But do you mind copying and pasting this post to your wall for me? And just saying about like how much you love the products and, you know, thank you for introducing me to the products and tagging me in that. So then other people can see that as well, because she may not want to share, and that's perfectly fine, but that way you get referrals. But also when she realizes, wait a second, there are people interested, now she wants to
Right.
start sharing because she's
Right.
like, wait, I want those people, like I want that benefit. So you
Right.
know, one way to do it. And then going back probably a couple of months ago, I think I mentioned this in the summer, that telling them or giving them the option, hey, do you want to host a health and happiness this day, health and happiness event this day or this day?
I
And-
did that when you posted that and it
Yeah,
worked.
taking away the ability for them to give excuses to not do it.
I was gonna say, that's everything that you've mentioned. It really is stuff that I'm all doing, by the way.
Yes, I am talking.
So what I'm having to hone in on is what I need to be better at. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Cause I don't give up. I do the things every day and I don't get discouraged. Elizabeth and I talk all the time. She knows me well enough to know that I might say something and she's like, oh, you know, just keep going. We'll get in. She doesn't have to worry about me giving up on it. I can roll with the punches and I don't know. I've got a good work ethic and I don't feel the need. Maybe there needs to be more of an urgency for me. That would help me a little bit, but I'm pretty, I'm in it for the long haul. So if it doesn't happen like overnight, I'm okay with that. You know, it's okay that it just is what it is. I'm just trying to get better at what I do. That's all.
Right. Yeah, I'm too stubborn to give up. So that's just not going to happen. But I do need to get off from here because I do have to leave for work in like 10 minutes for my other full-time job. So
Be safe.
prayers for no COVID patients for me
Yes.
tonight.
Definitely be safe.
I will. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye, Jolie.
Bye.
Bye.
My girls know better than to give up, that's for sure. They know it. I'll come hunt them
So
down.
Rebecca, one
I
of the
have a
things
sick.
that I'm
Oh wait,
thinking-
Jackie, you go. Go.
No, let's all try to talk at once. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Let's do it. Ready?
goes with all the voices in my head at one time, right? But you know, Rebecca, what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you're content with where you're at, so you don't have the motive necessarily to make a big change.
Maybe a little. I don't know if that's the right wording.
Just something to think about. But one of the things that I have found for me is getting to know my team better and knowing when I can change or when I need to have the strength to encourage them to change for me. Because, and Elizabeth and Rochelle, Lauren, Bev, you guys can vouch for this. These blue people, they will leave 850 voice messages, and I will open up my messenger and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 30 minutes of messages I got to listen to. And it ticks me off. And I have had to change my thinking because they love to share all of that, which is fabulous. And they're doing it out of love. But in my mind, I'm like, for God's sakes, do they not know I have more things to do than listen to this? I got IPA to do, right? I got kids. My husband would like a little attention. So encouraging them on how I need to communicate and knowing when I can go, okay, they need me to get on their love train here. And so making sure that we're connecting with people appropriately that way too, because if those people are weirdos like me and you're leaving them all these voice messages, you just turn them off. But if they're not like me, they're going to go, does she have a voice? Does she even care? So making sure that we're making sure where these people are at and that we're not killing them with the wrong mode of communication.
I feel the same way when I have someone in particular on my team that sends a lot of voice messages, but I've kind of told her, I'm like, I can't necessarily listen to all of those. So tag me when it's important. Like if you need me, tag me if it's in a 3-way chat or something, because if I see like 30 minutes of messages, it's going to freak me out too. One thing that I just wanted to say, I have headphones in and it's kind of throwing me off right now. But one thing I wanted to say to all of us on this call, and this is me talking to myself too, is to kind of pay attention to the language that you're using when you're talking about your team or you're talking about your inadequacies and things like that, because that's really going to bring out like your subconscious beliefs. And language is a really, really powerful tool, and it kind of reflects our subconscious. So if we're saying to ourselves like, okay, well, I'm doing this and these people aren't doing this, or, you know, just like kind of watch maybe what you're saying and what you're thinking. And I'm actually taking like a mindset course right now, and I haven't been able to delve into it a ton because of what happens in my life in November, but I have some of it highlighted here right now. And I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what I highlighted. So basically a lot of us, if you think of, like when we were kind of made in like this caveman era, right? Where like, it literally was like fight or flight, like you're literally running for your life. And so on a subconscious level, a lot of us, like we're basically built to be in fight or flight a lot. And so I think like that's why the media hysteria and everything going on right now, like all of that can trigger so many people, because it's so easy for all of us to kind of turn to those like fight or flight or survival mechanisms. And really, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to be able to transcend that and really pay attention to what our subconscious thoughts are saying. Because if we think like, if we are frustrated with people, or we find that we're kind of in like a constant state of fight or flight or anxiety, or if we're finding that our language isn't really reflective of where we want to be in life. Like if you want to be an emerald, like I want to be, but I'm telling myself I'm never going to get there. Like I find myself just talking to myself really, really negatively a lot. And so I would just encourage us all to kind of pay attention to that. And I think if you have like a true spiritual evolution and awakening, then you're going to transcend those beliefs of inadequacy. And kind of like what Peter Crone here says from the Mindset series is like, that's real heaven on earth. So I think there's more that I've probably highlighted, but basically like our thoughts and feelings are going to inform our behavior or drive our action, which then will create your results. So it's really good that we're, you know, talking about mindset this week too. It really is like an 80% thing, because when you're there and when you're in that momentum, it really feels electric. And the reason that it feels electric and the reason that people in momentum do so well is because they're not letting their subconscious win. But when things slow down, I think like it's really easy to let your subconscious basically tell you that you suck at life. And we've got to just pay attention to that and watch that. Oh, thank you, Lauren. I felt like I was stumbling.
That is 100% true. And I was going to add what you said, in that I've said this in our Jewel chat a couple of times, but we have to be careful. Yes, what we are telling ourselves in our minds, 100%. But even like, and you were saying too, be careful what you're saying around your teams and about your teams and all this. Like, we have to be careful what we say out loud, because, and even what we type out, because you know who the devil is looking. He's looking at all them texts. He's looking at all of these things that you're saying. He sees what's bothering you, and you better believe he's going to be going after that. Okay, I'm praying about this and I need to work on this or whatever. Hey, honey, I'm struggling with XYZ. I need to work on this. Will you pray with me? The devil don't want him praying for me. He doesn't want me praying for me. He wants me to be staying down and not getting back up again. Okay, so we have to be really careful what we say out loud. Like, I suggest if you're struggling with stuff, go to God. Like, don't even talk about it out loud. Fallon and I were talking about this the other day, well, the other month, and she was like, I swear when I started now, well, anyways, I'll just say it and then I'll go and I'll say another thing after that. But Fallon said that when she started going to counseling and she started talking about all of the bad things that her husband was doing, it was really bothering her, and they ended up having more problems. Now, I know that sometimes it can feel good, and counseling is a good thing because you need to be able to talk to somebody, because you don't want to just have all of it bottled up inside. So that was just one perspective that she had. But I just think it's really important, like, be careful what you say out loud to anybody, because the devil is lurking. He is walking around like a prowling lion, seeking whom he may devour. And he wants to devour us, you guys. Like, he does not want us living abundantly. He does not want us having anything good. He is the great deceiver, and he hates us, and he wants us to stay down. So anyways, I kind of like went off on a tangent. I wasn't planning on going there with all of that.
That's good.
But it was on my mind. But anyways, the other thing that I was going to say, and Jolie's not on here anymore, but it is on the recording, is I was going to say what you said, Beverly, too. I did not start my business for 15 months. So that's over a year. Like, where would I be if I started 15 months prior? You know what I'm saying? So agree with you guys on that. And also what reminded me of that is, so Fallon did not keep reaching out to me like, hey, do you want to do this business? She did not build belief in me. You know why? Because she was like uber busy with Cody, Tiffany, and Brittany. She didn't have time to think about what Courtney and I were doing over here because she was so busy with these other three, right? Maybe had she said more things to me, maybe it would have changed. Who knows? You never are going to know. But that was something that I thought about. And then I also thought about Brittany Howard and how she kept talking to Christina, and Christina did not want to work the business. And she kept talking to her, hey girl, you know, hey, my paycheck has a comma in it. You know, I know you know what a comma means over there, you know, whatever. And just little bits, never gave up on that. And finally, Christina was like, okay, I'm doing this with you. Now look at Christina. Hello, people. Diamond Senior Gold, the highest ranking out of all of Pink Power. It's just crazy. So never, ever, like Beverly said, never, ever give up on your people, which we're not saying that any of you guys are, but just always keep dripping that. So it's just like when we are reaching out about the products. I know for me, I reached out about the products all the time. I never reached out about the business at all. I just reached out about the products. That's what Fallon trained me in the beginning. Like, reach out about the products, get them on products. When they start loving their products and their results, then you share the business, and then they share the business. Okay, that's what I did. I never shared about the business. So if you have reached out about the products, then you want to also reach out about the business. And like, you can go back and forth, you know, but if they join you for the products, you cannot just stay there. You have to talk about the business opportunity. They don't know what they don't know. So we have to talk about that. It's our job to talk about that. They are over here thinking that we are getting $40 a month or getting free products delivered to our door, and we're not, you guys, right? So share how God is blessing you. And another thing that I want to say, and I'm so totally going to put this in Rocket Purpose. If you, what is the quote? Hang on, I read it today. It says, if you are, I can't remember the word. Anyways, if you're fearful of wealth, or if you don't like the word wealth, then you better think or something about you got something coming, because the streets in heaven, the streets are paved in gold. I mean, I obviously totally just butchered that, but you get my drift. Like, hello, people. If you got a problem with wealth, then you got a big problem, because when you get to heaven, you're going to see diamonds and gold and all kinds of things. So share about the opportunity. People need this opportunity. They are going to bed more so worried about their finances than they are about what kind of probiotic they need for their gut health, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm on a roll tonight, you guys.
We gotta schedule more calls. I mean, like now Erin's got me wanting to talk about cognitive distortions and how we rob our ability to grow our teams. And thanks, Erin. Now I'm gonna not be able to stop. I'm gonna have to go write some stuff down now. We'll have to schedule a team call for everybody.
Oh my gosh, so funny. But this is where it's at, connecting with all your people and just sharing. And you guys, wasn't that holiday launch party that we did the other night so stinking fun? I totally loved that. Like, no agenda. I mean, we did have kind of an agenda, but we didn't really stick to any agenda. We just kind of did whatever we wanted. But it was so much fun.
I told Elizabeth I felt really bad that one of my team members actually joined us, and I didn't know you said I thought you said Jolie, but it was actually Julie. And so I messaged her. She was like, "Oh, I was actually on there. I didn't see or hear me," and I felt really bad. And she is one that, I don't know, she's engaged in a lot of stuff too. So she's huh?
She's your girl?
Yeah, it actually, Julie Broadworth, it surprised me that she got on there, because she was one that wouldn't sign up at first because of Social Security number. I swear at least 5 people did that to me 1 month. Oh, 1 month. I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's exciting that you had somebody on. That's awesome.
Encouraging, yeah.
Well, it is 10:23. I think
I'm gonna be quiet.
We're gonna turn it back over to the host tonight and stop stealing the show over here.
Well, thank everybody for coming. And if Jackie, if you can hit stop, that would be awesome.